Good day guys, Wandering Beast, and yeah, we've got another EDC flashlight review. This is an EDC light slash headlamp, and in my last one, the Lumen E6 steel cannon that had an amazing throw, I said in that video I've got a second light that I've been testing it, and it's this little guy. This is the Brinyte HL16 Noctua. I'm horrible with these names. I wish some of these companies would just stick with numbers or something simple. I assume HL means headlamp. 16, I couldn't tell you what it means. But this guy is not without a ton of features. So for even its small form factor, the size that you see here, this guy has a 90-degree flipping head. And there's also a clip that comes on here. And it reminds me, the old Boy Scout ones, the 2C batteries, maybe had as many lumens as a candle. And it leaked all over the battery acid. They're horrible. But you used to be able to put it on your backpack strap. So this guy can go on your shirt, can go on your hat bill. Remember I talked about the E6 from Lumen? That was my only downfall with that light, is I couldn't clip it to my hat. Now it's a little bit larger than what I'm used to. Again, my EDC champion is the Olight. I've got that review up there. It has the S-curve band on there, so I can easily put it on my hat. Smaller form factor, but same battery as this. This is the 16340, or if you have CR123s, which I don't know anyone who carries those anymore because they're so expensive. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have some stored up in your prepper supplies because they have a 10-year shelf life. So this may be the light that you're looking for. So tiny little CR123 or the lithium-ion conversion version of it. And on here is also a magnetic charging base. Alright, now with that proprietary magnet charging base, what that gets you is it goes from USB to their charging port. Now I don't know that I'm 100% sold on that yet. I've had several other flashlights that do have that. It is extremely handy. You plug it in, you slap the thing on there. In fact, Olight has one. They're about the size of a quarter. These are a little bit more smaller, like pinpoint. I'll put in some photos. But when I'm working around the shop, when I'm using this as a work headlamp and EDC light, and I get grime and I get metal filings and it sticks to that, I end up having to kind of clean that off before I get that on there. Or I think I have it charging and it moves just slightly enough and it's not getting a proper connection, and so it's not getting charged, and I go to use the light, which I thought was plugged in, and it wasn't. So it's still, the jury's still out on that. Whether or not that's a good idea. Now I think just due to the fact that the battery's so small, that 16340 form factor, there's not a lot of those batteries out there that have the built-in charging port like we talked about in previous flashlights, where you can use your USB-C or your cell phone charger and plug the battery in directly without a special lithium-ion charger. That's kind of a downside. Now that's not the only thing that's magnetic. The base of this little guy is magnetic, which makes it very handy for slapping up on your frame of your truck, and you're pivoting and you're moving, and you can put the light exactly where you want it, even though the base that you're trying to magnet to isn't exactly at the right angle. That's a huge bonus right there. And then on top of all that, like I said at the beginning, this is actually a headlamp. So they've got a small little attachment piece on here, and you can just run it as a headlamp. Now my only gripe with that is, because the button is on, obviously, the top, if you do it this way on your hat, now you're going to be kind of a left-handed mode. Or if you switch it around, now you've got the underside if you're right-handed. So if you don't keep it in that configuration, I'm constantly searching for what side I put the button on. If I've got the headlamp backwards, most lights are pretty intuitive on how they go on, but because there's no top strap, it's just a single band, and you can put this back in this way or this way. I find myself confusing that a lot. But those are really only my gripes. The light itself has over 500 lumens. It's got an interesting beam pattern, which I'll put in some photos as we talk. It doesn't shoot very far. I think it's just around 140 meters, but that's enough to get things done. I think for an up-close work light, for that headlamp, you really want it a little bit wider, a little bit broader. It still has kind of a hot spot when I was trying to use certain things. If you guys have used headlamps a lot for up-close work, doing cabinetry, plumbing, electrical, you're under your truck, you know that you really kind of want a broad headlamp for that, and you don't really want a pinpoint. But saying that, for a versatile EDC light, you kind of have to deal with a little bit of everything, right? So you want it to shoot out to the driveway. You want to go see what's under the car, what went bump in the night. You want to be able to pull it out and work on the faucet that's leaking. It's got to solve all those problems, and so always there's a compromise with that. So if you don't have a dedicated up close working lamp, something like this is fantastic. The versatility of this thing, I don't know that you can beat it. The color on it is great. As far as the light coming on, there is SOS modes and things of that nature, but the button is a good click on here. Now back on the magnetic ring, you can probably see there is a light on there that will let you know your charge, state of charge, and let you know how that's all working. And I really have had no issues with it. The only downside, like I said, is it's a little finicky, but I like having the light in 90 degrees. I like being able to put it on my hat, even though it's a little bit heavier than some of the other lights, just getting it hands-free if I don't want to go and get the headband out. If it's just something pull out of my pocket and I want to get going to work and finding out what's leaking or fix whatever the problem is. But it does offer a lot of versatility. The battery is still a good form factor. I like that small battery. But again, if you don't have a good charger or you're relying on that proprietary piece that magnets on there, which is really cool, but if it's not working or you forgot that cord at home, you're out. And most likely you guys aren't going to run and get a CR123 for 20 bucks or something at your local hardware store. So those are my little gripes with the light. Other than that, I think it's a really cool light. To have something this small that does all of these things is still a bonus. I'll put links down below, guys. Like I said with the Lumen video, if you didn't already tell me what you're running, please comment below and tell me what you guys are using for an EDC light, whether you would even say that you would purchase this. If you think this is interesting, what do you think is positives of it? I like hearing from you guys. I'm not the only ones out here. You guys are a huge part of why I do this. So leave comments, guys. Look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you down the road.
Thanks for all the love and support. You guys are amazing. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow the adventure on social media, and we'll see you on the road.